Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome back to the Tarot Genie, where you receive intuitive, insightful answers from the tarot to your burning questions about business, career, entrepreneurship, personal development, spirituality, and more. Do you want to know how to deal with today's climate, current crises that we're having in this country? Now, I don't want to get into a political reading per se. There are plenty of great tarot readers out there doing just that. However, I realize, and this is definitely true for me, that for many of you, it can be very frustrating, very heart-wrenching to see a lot of the things that are going on right now if you're living in the United States. I'm sure that elsewhere as well, but right now, given the tension and the combativeness of our political situation and what's going on and the day-to-day things and the shootings, etc., it can be really heart-wrenching. So let's ask the tarot, how can we best deal with this? And one thing that came to mind as I was thinking about what we were going to cover today is that one key way is that sometimes I get frustrated just seeing the lack of integrity and of truthfulness in the current situation, and I'm in the Washington, D.C. metro area, so that can be very, very troubling to me. But I thought the best way, one of the key ways to combat my feeling of frustration and helplessness is to become even more, to focus even more on integrity and truth myself. Not that I haven't been, but to make this a priority. And as always, I'd like to share with you a book that is from my library. This is called Spiritual Power Tools. Spiritual Power Tools for Successful Selling, Harnessing the Power of Your Mind with Intuition, Vision, and Self-Discipline. This is by Milteer, and I have met Milteer, this wonderful, I'm trying to think of a word best to describe her because she has so many talents and skills. She's amazing. I first came across her years ago. One of the first audio cassettes I bought, a self-help book was, audio series was, now it escapes me all of a sudden. But it was an audio program on personal development and how to change your mind and become more empowered, etc. And then years later, that was a very good program. Years later, I met her back in 2012. I met her in person at a conference, took a course with her, teleseminar on intuition, and then I met her it's almost 2 years ago. It's coming October, 2 years ago, where I took training at her in Virginia Beach with her for about 3 days, 2 to 3 day training session. And so she really exemplifies high integrity. She exemplifies what I think is most outstanding is that she combines the rational and the logical approach to business and her business with the metaphysical, with the spiritual. And so that's what this book addresses. And in particular, the chapter that drew my attention today, and I thought I had marked the page. Sorry about that. I changed it is 41. The chapter's called, it's Power Tool number 5. She talks about 12 power tools for successful selling. And when she talks about selling, she doesn't mean, this is not just solely for salespeople who you think of, auto salespeople or computer salespeople, basically all of us, if we're in any type of business, even if we're writers, as she says here, writers are sellers of ideas. But we all sell in some way. And so this book is dedicated to how to sell or how to influence people more effectively. And chapter 5, or power tool number 5, is the power of truth, integrity, and high ethics. I thought, wow, that really captures what my theme is for today. How in this climate of intense divisiveness, political angst, heart-wrenching events that have been occurring in the past couple of years, whether you're talking about the shootings or things on the border, etc., and I won't comment how specifically I feel about that, but they're troubling events. And how do we stay in our own truth, and how do we stay powerful and not get sucked into the feeling of powerlessness, not being able to control these things? So that's what we're going to ask the tarot today, using 3 cards, a 3-card reading. The first card will represent This is interesting. A card just jumped out. Now, these are called jumper cards. When you're shuffling and a particular card jumps out, it's noteworthy. And this card is the Nine of Wands. And in this particular image, highlights, emphasizes, underscores a situation in which a person is a little bit defensive, but particularly they feel wounded and they're holding on to something. And that's, I couldn't think of a more appropriate card to convey sometimes what I'm feeling in the current climate. This jumper card does show that feeling of being wounded. And so let's see what the tarot is going to advise us today to how to best manage this and how to come back into our own power and how not to be sucked into the drama and frankly the trauma of what's been going on. All right, the first card, situation, what do we need to know? Say we're dealing with this current climate of horrendous things happening, feeling at the individual level, if you're not a politician, if you're not a person of tremendous influence, those of us who are going about our daily lives can often feel helpless. So what do we need to know about the situation right now, what's going on, to best empower ourselves, to best rise above it, to best stay into our own truth and integrity? Wow. The Strength card, reversed. The Strength card is a major arcana card. And of course, in the tarot, this represents a particularly strong influence, a particularly strong dynamic in our lives or in life itself, the human condition. Now, normally when this is upright, the Strength card, well, you see a picture of or an image of a young maiden who is appears to be taming this fierce lion. But she's doing it in a gentle way. She's not shouting at him. She's gently closing his snout, it appears to be. And there's a lot of illumination in the background, and there are mountains. And she's wearing a white dress, white robe, and she has the infinity sign, suggesting to me that symbol of infinite power, infinite strength, and tapping into the intuition. That's what's coming to mind today. Given that this is reversed, I see, and that the position was looking at the current situation of divisiveness, of angst in our current political climate. Now, what do we most need to know? And I think what the Strength card is suggesting here as a reversed card that I chose is that we really need to tap into our own inner power. We've got to go there, turn within, and tap into our own inner power. Whatever you are against, that famous saying by Wayne Dyer, I think it was, a self-help author of many, many books who died a few years ago. He said, whatever you are for empowers you. Whatever you are against weakens you. This Strength card reversed in the position of asking, what do we need to know about this situation that's going on right now that is so troubling, is that we've got to turn within and focus on our own inner reserves, our own inner power, looking for guidance from within, that illumination that comes from within, and step aside, step apart from the situation, not to get embroiled into it. And realize that, we can tame this inner beast of fear, of frustration. I see the lion as representing that. The lion here is red, suggesting anger and fierceness. Well, she's taming. By turning within, the Strength card is suggesting that you need to calm down, tap into your own inner power, and despite what's going all around you, and realize that you can tame the beast of fear, of frustration, of the sense of powerlessness. That's what is most important to realize in this current situation. Got to step away from it and turn within. Seems like good guidance from the tarot. Next card represents action to take. Now this is quite interesting, the Three of Cups. We see three maidens dancing up a storm. It appears to be, looks like they have Halloween or Thanksgiving because they've got the pumpkins, the pumpkin patch here, and they're dancing and rejoicing. Now this could seem a bit of an odd action to take, in the midst of this current political divisiveness and sense of crisis that is occurring at the moment. But what I think the tarot is advising us and the image is advising us is to still stay within our own joy. Take time to be with friends. Don't forget, don't get embroiled and weighed down by all of these things, because to some extent we can't control it. Yes, we need to voice our viewpoints, and we need to go to the ballot box when that time arrives and do all we can. But in the meantime, to best be empowered, we still need to celebrate the beauty of life. We still need to spend time with friends. We don't want to spend the entire time, which I will admit, not the entire time, but perhaps too often, and as my boyfriend pointed out, we can't go there too much, is I will get frustrated and rant and rave about the situations that really trouble me. Take time. The suggested action is take time to still celebrate life. It's vital. And finally, assuming we do that, what's the likely outcome? The likely outcome, the Lover's card, 6. Now, interesting that this reading is bookended by 2 reversed major arcana cards. And this suggests to me the Lover's card, which depicts what is often viewed as the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, represented by the woman and the male, and then we've got this archangel. When it's upright, we see the archangel, powerful, this powerful angel, and the woman's looking up to him for guidance. And there's this bright yellow sun that's illuminating the sky. Given that it's reversed, how I interpret the reversal again in this particular reading is saying that the outcome will be that if we acknowledge our inner strength, acknowledge and then also celebrate life how we can, take that action and not get dragged down too much. Do what we need to do, voting, etc., but not allow things to undermine our own worth and our own knowledge of who we are and our own sense of power. And as a result, we are going to have a tremendous inner strength. And that's basically what this reading is addressing when we talk about how do we stay empowered. And so it's going to be like an inside job, which interestingly, Lee Milteer wrote a book called Success is an Inside Job. I think that's one of her first books. We are going to feel empowered. We're going to feel unified. I often see this card, the Lover's card, as an image representing the balance of the male and female energies, which we all have, and that guided by, but the female looks to spirit for direction, for guidance, and then the male provides that physical power and the momentum, but he looks to the female for the guidance, for the spirit, for the feeling nature of things. As a result, I think that this reading is suggesting that if we tap into our own inner power, we continue to celebrate life however we can and do what needs to be done, and then, in a sense, let go, we will have tremendous inner strength, and also that inner harmony, because we have this male and female and a balance of male and female energies, that inner harmony that is powered by spirit. I hope this reading has been helpful. It's gone a little bit longer than I had planned. As always, I will recommend a piece of music for you to listen to this week to reinforce the reading, and I will put some notes about this book so that you can look for the book yourself. And also, if you have not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button if you liked this video, and also in the comments sections, please provide any suggestions for readings that you would like to see in the future. Until next time, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.